Which brings us to the execrable Taylor Lorenz. So Taylor Lorenz is a garbage heap. She was a horrible reporter at the New York Times. She's 87 years old, pretending to be a millennial. Here she was in the beginning of April.
I've had to remove every single social tie. I had severe PTSD from this. I contemplated suicide. It got really bad. You feel like any little piece of information that gets out on you will be used by the worst people on the internet to destroy your life.
Woof!
I'm gonna give you to the count of 10 to get your ugly, yellow, no good keister off my property before I pump your guts full of lead.
All right, Johnny, I'm sorry. I'm going.
1, 2, 10. Keep the change, you filthy animal.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and the backlash continues on into day 2 after Taylor Lorenz decided that it was very, very important for the world to know the name of the person running an anonymous Twitter account, Libs of TikTok. And why is it important? Well, let's be honest. It's effective. It's effective at shining in a spotlight. Much like the saying goes, the best disinfectant is sunlight. It's effective in shining a spotlight on some of the most insane lunatics in the world. In particular, some of them are teaching your kids. And that just couldn't stand. See, these quote-unquote journalists, as I call them, urinalists, of course, it's anonymity is a core tenet of journalism. I believe that. I 100% believe that. Except, of course, journalists only think it's important if it's protecting somebody that's feeding them information that fits their narrative, right? Suddenly, anonymity is not important when it's shining a spotlight on these lunatics and school boards and teachers and stuff that are, in the system spending time with kids. And by the way, I don't believe all teachers are like this. I believe it's an extraordinarily small percentage of them. But I also believe that anonymity is important, and it was very clear that the creator of the Libs of TikTok account had zero interest whatsoever in sharing their public profile or persona, but Taylor Lorenz stood on the backs of the LGBTQ community, as usual, to try and say, oh, well, she's targeting them. Well, let me just show you a small amount of the kind of garbage that you get when, nearly 1 century-year-old Taylor Lorenz, you have the unfortunate coincidence of sharing a name with the creator of Libs of TikTok. This isn't even the person. Their inbox is getting flooded with stuff like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with this world? You're vile and disgusting. Your children should be taken away from you and put in a safer home. May you rot. Here's someone saying, what you're not going to do is play the victim when you thrive off fear, including hate mongering. Okay, again, not the same person. I can only imagine what the actual person's getting. How about this? Reap what you sow, you hateful, lying hypocrite, your entire life online. I mean, these people are lunatics. This is just a tiny person. This person and many others are posting my parents' address. This cell number I haven't had in 5 years. I live in England. You are putting my parents and my autistic sister in danger, you sick Fs. Again, this is just somebody who happened to share the same name as the creator of Libs of TikTok. Now, this is a name that Taylor Lorenz absolutely had to have public. It had to be public for everybody. Ben Shapiro chimed in here in what I thought was a very excellent take. By the way, if you're new to this channel, I know Ben and I share a lot of viewers. Make sure, if you would consider, give the channel hit the red subscribe button down below. I think you'll like the content. And if you've been here a while, and you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. Ben Shapiro writes, the Taylor Lorenz article is so wildly dishonest, she mischaracterizes nearly everything deliberately. A few examples will suffice. First, she says that the Libs of TikTok account posted a video of a woman teaching education to children in Kentucky. She does not quote the video. probably because the video featured a woman talking about a spicy summer camp for kids and toddlers learning how to please themselves. We covered this. She then says that the owner of the account, quote, minimized the coof. Here's the actual tweet she links to, which doesn't minimize the coof. It mocks the left for selectively minimizing the coof. She accuses the owner of the account of using, quote, Q-related language. She provides zero evidence of such language. In other words, Taylor Lorenz is a garbage journalismer. Her newspaper editors are garbage for publishing her, and it's a joke that so many are defending her garbage work. Yeah. I think that pretty much sums it up. But the Washington Post has actually doubled or tripled down on it, which is hilarious. And what I do like to see, to be honest with you, is if I can pull up this tweet, the internet's not buying it. The internet is not buying it. I think Libs retweeted it yesterday, where the Washington Post issued a statement that, here it is. Christiane Coriati Kelly, let's just say, with 4,000 followers, chief communications officer, issues a statement. It has 7,357 comments and 1,400 likes. So even on Twitter, the Washington Post writes, Taylor Lorenz is an accomplished and diligent journalist whose reporting methods comport entirely with the Washington Post professional standards. The person who runs the account in her management of the Libs of TikTok account and in media interviews has become a significant impact on the public discourse, and her identity had become public knowledge on social media. No, it didn't. You still had to dig for it. We did not publish or link to any details about her personal life, except they did. Tim Young hitting with a go F yourself. Christina Pushaw running funniest joke of the day. The Washington Post's professional standards. They did link to it. You can see covered on Rebel News. Taylor Lorenz published the Libs of TikTok's private home address before editors removed it. As vetted by Rebel News, the article originally contained Libs of TikTok's real estate license, including her private home address and details of her employer in New York. Taylor Lorenz's article doxing the identity of the popular Libs of TikTok Twitter account originally included the anonymous creator's home address before it was pulled by editors in the Washington Post. But this is my point, is that I believe, is my opinion, that Taylor Lorenz knew exactly what she was doing. Obviously, she put it in there and hyperlinked to it. But I believe that she also did it to get the information out to the wrong people. That's what I think. I think she knew that the super soldiers who are I just showed you a small sample of what the person who isn't even her is getting. She knew the address would be used by the worst actors. She herself cried on CBS talking about how every detail of her personal life, blah, 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 blah. Writing, I think online harassment is such a misnomer, said Lorenz in a March interview with Crooked Media. Well, Crooked Media. I think it's a huge problem because harassment is a tool to silence people, especially women of color. I like how she always steps on the LGBTQ community and she steps on minorities. Like, this is a white woman, like, stepping on minorities and the queer community to justify her harassment and behavior. And, like, don't think that they don't know that. Like, there are a lot of people in that community and that watch my videos that email me all the time and say they know exactly. They know when I talk about queer baiting with these corporations, they don't like that. Ooh, Skittles removed all the color from their Skittles. I feel so validated. I'm going to go buy their sugary product now. That doesn't work. You know who that doesn't work on the actual LGBTQ community. It doesn't. Who it works on are these like overweight white women who make their whole personality being an ally. That's who it's really for. Lorenz was also described being doxxed and harassed in an NBC interview in which she broke down in tears. The Washington Post journalist claimed to suffer severe PTSD from it. And yet she showed up again at the House. Now, the Washington Post is standing behind the reporting of one of its top columnists after a story published Tuesday sparked pushback from supporters of the popular conservative Twitter account. The account has been circulated widely in conservative media, blah, blah, blah. Critics took issue with how Lorenz went about some of her reporting, including going onto the account creator's home in order to verify their identity. Some accused Lorenz of doxing the account's creator, a method used by people online to broadcast personal information of their enemies in order to encourage harassment. That's exactly what she did. Lorenz, who formerly worked at The Hill among multiple other outlets, I wonder why she keeps changing places of employment, has been outspoken in the past about the online harassment she faces. Well, she's fine. Rather than debate doxing, I hope people can read the story and see the striking escalation of attacks against gay and trans people. Look at that. There she is again, standing on the LGBTQ community. And like, it's actually insane to me that anyone would think otherwise. That anyone would be siding with Taylor Lorenz here, because as I put it out earlier in the video, you saw what the wrong person got. Just think about what she's getting, right? That was done on purpose. The address and sharing the name was done on purpose. Why? Because it's effective. Very few people can withstand this kind of onslaught. People aren't created to be able to handle this. Very few people can. Even people at the top of their game. I'm sure guys like Ben Shapiro or Crowder, they have very human moments too, where they're just tired of all the hate directed their way. I'm not saying anyone has to feel bad for them, but I'm saying humans were not built to be like under this kind of constant harassment and deluge of negativity. Probably why my hair's falling out. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.